and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing my 27 and 28 week bump date. So if you want to hear how those 2 weeks went, then just keep on watching. Y'all, third trimester. I'm in the third trimester. I cannot believe it. It is insanity how fast this pregnancy has gone. My son is listening to animal sounds. So a lot happened these past 2 weeks. A lot's happened and a lot has happened, so I'm gonna get the more fun stuff first and then the not so fun stuff more towards the end. So I've been abnormally thirsty these past couple weeks. It's like no matter how much I drink, I'm still so thirsty. Like right now, my mouth is so dry and I just drank a bunch of water. My gums have been bleeding a lot whenever I brush my teeth, and I had that symptom several weeks ago, but now it's come back, so they just bleed a lot every time I brush my teeth. Overall, I'm getting just extremely uncomfortable. I'm just feeling really big and giant. Just doing simple stuff around the house, just bending over, everything just really wears me out, and I get tired a lot easier. I'm just feeling huge and uncomfortable. I'm also getting to the point now to where I cannot stand to lay on my back or sleep on my back. Now, a couple weeks ago, I had mentioned that I only wanted to sleep on my back. So now I have definitely reached that point to where like I can't breathe when I lay on my back. So we're over that hurdle, and now I'm exclusively just sleeping on my sides. Baby girl's movements have transitioned from those sweet little flutter kicks to more elbows and knees. I can definitely feel just more like jabs and rolls versus just the little flutter movements. If you've ever been pregnant before, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it's starting to get where like when you look at my belly, you can just see like, you know, a big alien roll in there. So that's been a little weird because you forget how weird some of the movements feel. I'm starting to get a little bit more swollen. I don't really think it's visible, but I can feel it. And I know that that makes no sense, but like my wedding ring, I can still wear it and it's fine, but it feels tight. And I'm more comfortable with it off. So, I mean, I'll wear it if we're like out and about or something, but just for like around the house, I've been leaving it off just because it kind of starts to feel a little bit uncomfortable. And then also I've been noticing if I wear any shoes or anything with like straps, like sandals, my feet just feel tighter, and it's so hard to explain, and I'm sure I'm making no sense, but I'm definitely feeling a lot more swollen, you know, to go along with the feeling like a whale, like I was saying before. I can definitely feel that my belly is starting to not be that cute little round pregnancy belly that you get in that second trimester. It's kind of starting to droop a little bit. If you've been pregnant before, you kind of know what I mean. It just kind of gravity starts to kind of take it down a little bit. So I can definitely feel that. I've actually busted out my, it's like a support belt for pregnancy, and I wore it this morning, and man, it made a big difference. It made me feel so much better. I will link that below. I got it off Amazon and is definitely a good investment. I also got a prenatal massage this week. My mother-in-law is actually a massage therapist, and she's been trying to get me in for weeks, and it's really hard for me to get over there because they live like 45 minutes from us. So it's a bit of a task to get over there, but I definitely needed it, and it was awesome. And I'm hoping I'll probably get in a couple more times before she's born. Y'all, these night sweats and hot flashes are killing me. Like, they are so bad. Before, it was just like I would get hot at night. And when I say I get hot at night, I am waking up like wet. The other night, I got up in the middle of the night, you know, to pee because I'm 28 weeks pregnant. And my husband went to kind of pat my back, and he was like, "Why are you wet?" And I was like, "I'm so hot." I have been sweating just, oh my gosh, the struggle is real. And then now I'm getting hot flashes during the day. So not only is it at night, but it's during the day. So yeah, I'm over it. And it's only April, so I'm in for a treat this summer because I'm only gonna get bigger. Which I don't think it really I mean, of course I'm bigger, so I have a little bit more insulation, but I think it's just the hormones. But yeah, it's been fun. Okay, so last week we had a sonogram and a midwife appointment because now I'm getting to where I go to the midwife every 2 weeks. So they just happen to kind of fall within a day of each other. So we get the sonogram on Monday, and she is looking at my placenta and is thinking that she sees that accreta that we had talked about several weeks ago. It's really difficult to tell how deep the accreta is or how bad it is from a sonogram. You really don't know until you've had your baby and you can see it. So it's really hard to kind of prep for that. With this diagnosis, a VBAC is really out of the question. So that's kind of hard because I really didn't want another C-section. But they will also probably have to schedule me for like 34, 36 weeks, which completely freaks me out. And the absolute worst part is there's a very likely chance that I'm gonna have a hysterectomy. I'm gonna try not to get too technical with, the accreta and stuff because I'm sure people don't want to hear about that. But basically, the placenta is so deeply attached to your uterus that they cannot separate the two. So they can't leave your placenta in there, so they have to just take everything out, basically. Again, they will not know definitively if I have to have my uterus taken out until Lucille is out of me and I'm just like open. So that has been extremely difficult to process. That's another reason why I didn't do an update last week, because I really didn't feel like I could talk about it. It's been like a week and a half, so I feel like I can actually say the words without having a meltdown. So we're really trying to process that. The C-section, whatever. Of course, I would love to have that natural VBAC just experience, but that's the least of my concerns. I'm really concerned about having her so early. Me and my husband are both extremely stressed out about that, just because she could possibly be in the NICU. Her lungs will not be fully developed. There could be issues with breastfeeding because she's not developed enough to be able to suck and latch and things like that. So there's just a whole host of problems that come along with them being born that early. Not to mention just losing like 6 weeks of planning and preparation and stuff like that. So we're really just trying to kind of refocus our road to Lucille to reflect all these changes, because it's been a lot. The hysterectomy is obviously really hard to process because I'm only 30. So a hysterectomy at 30 is just like I don't even have any words. That I never in a million years thought that would happen. Lucille is measuring at 2 pounds 5 ounces, so she is right on track. Everything about her is absolutely perfect. Heart rate, everything's great. So all of this happened at the sonogram on Monday. So this wasn't my regular prenatal care. This was just the sonogram and the sonogram doctor, I guess you would say. Tuesday, I went in for my just regular checkup at my midwife clinic. I actually had my glucose test, which was not as bad as I remember it with Liam. It really was nothing. Last time I had the orange drink, and this time I had the lemon lime, and it was ridiculously easy to drink. She's like, okay, you have 5 minutes, take your time. I just chugged it in like 30 seconds just to get it over with. And yeah, I mean, it's not something I would drink like ever, but it really wasn't that bad. So I did the glucose test. The results came back a couple days later. Everything was fine with that. So one less thing to have to worry about. After the appointment on Monday, I was really trying to not be too upset until we actually talked to our midwife, just because, I don't know, I guess it's a second opinion. I asked her what her opinion was on the VBAC, and you know, if it were her, what would she do? And she said, absolutely not. I would not even try it. It is extremely dangerous because when you're in labor and you know, all that stuff's contracting and everything, you are at a very high risk of bleeding out and bleeding too much to where they can't get you the blood that you need, and it's just extremely dangerous. I also asked her about the hysterectomy and just kind of what she thought the odds were and things like that, and she said, I would definitely be preparing yourself to have a hysterectomy, just kind of mentally prepare for it. She said, of course, it's not set in stone that you will have one, but it's very likely. They're gonna do everything they can to try to save your uterus, but they don't want to mess around trying to get your placenta out because you're going to be bleeding that whole time. So they can't work on it for too long because then it just puts you, the mom, at a much higher risk. At this point is really when I just kind of lost it and broke down at the doctor's office. I am not a super emotional person. I don't cry very easily, but just to have everything confirmed just kind of really came down all at once, and I just lost it. With all that being said, she suggested that we switch our care to an OB physician because they're going to be the ones who are performing the actual surgery, and that way we can kind of start establishing that relationship, which, you know, is a good idea. So we have our first appointment with this new doctor next week, and hopefully we can kind of get some more answers because me and my husband have a million questions. There's so many things that we don't know and we're unsure of and everything like that. Also, how early are they gonna wanna take her? Because that's freaking us out. You know, 34 weeks is just, oh my gosh, that's so early. So hopefully we can get more clarification on that so I can sleep at night and hopefully just get some more answers, because Google has really been useless on this front. For once, I cannot find much at all on this condition. Having an Accreta is not very common. The midwife told me that at their group, which they've been open for a long time, several years, they have only seen an Accreta one time other than me. It's not a very common condition, so there's not a lot of research and reports, and there's just not a lot out there. So that's making it a lot harder to deal with and get answers because there's literally hardly anything out there. So it has been a pretty rough week, just emotionally. It's me and my husband are just kind of drained. We're worn out. Today we had our 3D 4D ultrasound, so that was kind of nice to get to do that. She looks just like Liam did at this point. I think I was 30 weeks when we did Liam's 3D ultrasound, and I am 28, almost 29 weeks. So they're really close in gestation there, but they look like the same baby. It's crazy. The sonographer also told us that she definitely has hair, which made me feel better because Liam was born with a full head of hair. And so I'm like, of course, our girl is gonna be bald, so I'll have to just tape bows to her head so people know she's a girl, which I totally would. But he said she's got plenty of hair, so that'll be interesting. I'm really excited to see what color hair she's got. Here is the 28-week bump. Very round, very out there. He just cannot stand it that he's not in front of this camera. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Can you blow a kiss? Yeah. That is all that I have for this week's bump date. Hopefully next week I will have better news and lots more happy things to talk about. If you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel below. I will see you all in the next one. Bye.